Alright, a little bit of fortune telling, this time with Valley of the King, the Afterlife, which is what I'm potentially going to be looking at over the coming weeks to a month or 2 months. Unfortunately, not my best day today. I had a anxiety meltdown and had to pull myself out of work. I work at a tutoring center. I don't get along with my manager, unfortunately, because I have a lot of anxiety talking to him. And I really love my students, and I don't want to take a day away from them, but at the same time, I really miss Wallace. I was going back and forth on what to say to my manager and working with the students, and I felt ill and I left. Fortunately, over the last couple of years, it's become very acceptable to leave work when you're feeling any sort of illness, right? And so I did have that on my side, but I guess I had the rest of the day to myself, which was good in its own right. It wasn't Wallace, but it was at least half a day to myself. I'll have to think about how Wallace will have to come about, but some fortune telling about what happens when I do make it to the other side, which I hope to do, because I really despise talking to other people here on Earth, not only to my manager, but to potential life partners, to my family, to I wrote the Let's Go Brandon guy an email asking him what he's doing about singles. I kind of despise doing that too. I wrote a letter to the IRS as I was filing my taxes about what life would be like if taxes were more fair to solosexuals. That one I handled a little bit better, but in general, I really despise communicating with people here on Earth. And I think the afterlife will give me some relief from that. Alright. Some fortune telling. Grand Gallery. So I guess this will come about after I leave this world with all the computer games that I've been writing. I have the #1 AI for the game of backgammon. I hope that will make its way to a museum one day. I don't know how to pronounce that. Serdab set aside any number of cards for your hand. When you draw a new hand, add these set aside cards. Bracelet. A dagger, which is what I felt when I tried to talk to my manager, and he gets overly excited talking about what he wants to talk about and doesn't listen. It feels like a dagger to the heart, so that's probably... Oh, and it's 4, right? Death. Oh, how many 4s did I do? That one was a 4 as well. These guys are 5 and 3. Yeah, 4, in Chinese, 4 is an unlucky number because it sounds like the word for death. I'm not so afraid of dying anymore. I've been increasingly anxious about wanting to go back to Wallace and not being able to communicate with people here. And I relayed some of those frustrations to Let's Go Brandon to let him know how sometimes people who are in happy relationships almost form like a cult at the workplace, right? And I told Let's Go Brandon about how I think he has a very beautiful relationship, but to recognize that not everybody experiences relationships as a two-person thing, right? Sometimes it's more than 2, sometimes it's 1, sometimes it's 7.9 billion, right? And everybody experiences love in their own special way, right? Linen bandages. Entomb a card. See, I need bandages for my broken heart about what happened today and this past week, 2 weeks. God, I'll have to think about how I make it to Wallace. Nobody's gonna believe that I was ill for a week or 2 weeks. I mean, I don't even know if my manager knows what I had. He probably just assumed I was doing the responsible thing and leaving, just in case it was the Let's Go Brandon disease, right? Oh, box of food. Exactly what I'm trying to avoid. I'll have my food after I get to heaven. Maybe that's why it's called Afterlife, right? Anyway. Let's go, Brandon! Let's go, Brandon! Alright, alright. Anyway, I'll have to think about how I make it to Wallace. I really could use a weekend over in Wallace. I really could. But unfortunately, it's not coming very naturally for me for whatever reason.